So, what advice would you give young men and young women, but specifically young women? Because I talk to a lot of women about strength training, and they always come to me. It's the same thing. I don't want to get big. I don't want to get big. I just want to get toned.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like, well, tone isn't even a real thing.
Yeah.
Right? Tone's not even a real thing. I don't know what tone is.
Yeah.
And it's not that easy to build muscle.
No, it's so hard. It depends on your body type. I'm an ectomorph, right? So it's very difficult for me to build muscle. It's incredibly hard. So the best thing I can advise people is, in a nutshell, okay, to like to get a little bit scientific, but to create easy explanation. So when you're doing cardio, which is what most females do, you're burning calories as your heart rate raises. You get into a fat burning zone. You can get into like a more cardiovascular developing zone, and so on and so forth. And you'll burn energy. So weight loss is energy in versus energy out. End of the day. Right?
Yep.
So whatever you intake as opposed to what you take, right?
Really simple when it comes to losing and gaining weight.
When everyone's like, oh, it's a macro diet or a paleo diet or a keto, it's like, at the end of the day, it all comes down to what you're taking in, what you're putting out.
Yep.
Keto might eliminate carbs, and carbs have a different content than they do compared to fats, and that's how it works. It's all mathematical. Yep. But it's not like magic. It's not like if you stop eating carbs, you lose weight. But for women, it's like you need to realize when you're doing cardio, you burn while you're training. When you do weights, you use a system. It's called the EPOC system, and basically what happens is when you're burning it, when you're doing weights, when you finish training, your body needs more oxygen afterwards, so it will continuously burn calories afterwards.
Yeah.
So not only are you like tearing and repairing in those like movements, which is causing muscle development gradually, muscle development increases your metabolic rate. And then also when you're doing those kind of strength training instead of cardio base, you're going to burn calories not only during your workout but afterwards. So there's so much more benefit. Whereas women, a lot of women, and it's like, I'm not being sexist, but it's true. And before I learned, I was the same. You think, oh, cardio will get me skinny. I got to go for a run, or I got to go on the treadmill. It's like, it'll burn this many calories, and that's pretty much a small science to it. But doing weight training, you're going to grow the muscles, which increase metabolic rate. It's going to use a system that allows you to burn calories during and afterwards, and it's just more beneficial. And that muscle will harden and develop, and it will give you those nice shape and that nice look. And you're never going to have like those sexy curves and those like defined body features while doing cardio. No. Like all my shows, I've done 3 shows where I didn't do any cardio. And I got down to I think 6% body fat at one point. Yeah. And that was like, I don't like running. I'm not a runner. I might do a bit of walking, or like I like the bike and whatever. But like, girls need to get out of this mindset that weights are the enemy and that weights are going to make you big and bulky. No. Like, if that was the case, there wouldn't be such thing as steroids, because men struggle to put on muscle, let alone women. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, very much.
Yeah. So
it's not easy to build muscle.
It's not. It's so freaking hard.
These little kids stop. They were like, I shouldn't say little, they were like 12, 13 years old. But they're like, I always get stopped by like these youngsters or whatever. And I'm like, what do you do? Or like, what's the secret in this? And I'm just like, I remember I was going to Fresh Kitchen, and there was like this kid, he was probably like 19 years old. Yeah. He was behind the counter. I think I had just left the gym. Yeah. So I was like, I had a pump and I had like a cutoff on. So I was looking extra. Right. And I was like, bro, I just want a chicken bowl, like some Brussels sprouts. But he was just like, yo, man, he was like, what's the secret? You got to tell me the secret. Yeah. And I looked at him. I was like, you got to play the long game.
Yeah, it doesn't happen overnight.
You got to be willing to play the long game.
Exactly.
I've been training now for 20 years.
Yeah.
And I say it takes probably 10 years to truly build like a good physique.
It's so true. It does, and it takes a long time, and it takes commitment. Mm-hmm. And that's the thing, like with not just women but men, but like it's like as this is why I stopped training, because I can't stand it anymore. Like, I trained myself. I started doing shows and I enjoyed training myself, but I can't stand training people that don't listen to you and they think they know more than you. And it's like they don't see results. And it's like, I can do what I can for you here, but you go home and you eat whatever you eat. Yeah. And I can tell you you need to eat carbs. You need to balance portions. You don't need to eat 6 small meals a day. You can do this, blah, blah, blah. I give them a plan and they're like, I don't know though. I don't know if I can be eating rice. I can't be eating oats. Like, I can't be eating sweet potato. And I'm like, you can though. Go home and eat your tuna and your salad and see how long that lasts, and then you'll binge on something. And like, it's ignorance. And I think that's like, the biggest thing is like, I understand it because I was the same when I was a big girl. It's like I sit here and I say this with respect because I was there, but I can say it because I've been there. And I say it because I'm like, I was that girl. I was that girl that would be like, my trainer would be like, what did you eat this week? And I'd be like, I ate broccoli and chicken. But I'm like, I fucking ate fucking pan of brownies at home. You know what I mean? But so people lie. They don't tell the truth.
Yeah.
And also, like, I didn't believe it too. I was the same. I was like, I don't want to get big and muscly. Like, you know,
Yeah.
Then I did a show and I was like, shit, why can't I get big and muscly? You know? So it's like, I think the biggest thing is just trust the people that know what they are talking about.
Yeah.
And be consistent. Like some people like stick it up for like, you know, a week and then they give up. They say it takes two weeks mentally to create a habit.
Yeah.
So if you can get past that hurdle, and I believe that 2 first weeks are the hardest to change your lifestyle. Just it starts little baby steps, cut down on things, but just trust the people that know what they're qualified to do.
Yeah.
And if you don't, then you'll get the same results you've always had because you don't know what you're talking about.
This is another thing that people don't realize either, especially women. Like, I talk to dudes all the time. Dudes will listen to me all the time.
Yeah.
Because they see me. I'm tall. I'm jacked.
Yeah.
I'm good looking. They're like, oh, I want to, they want to, I've got an impressive physique.
They're like, how do I do you?
Right. It's easy. You know what I mean? Because I know, because when guys talk to me, because like I was the young kid looking at the jack guys when I was younger, wanting to know their secrets, you know? And so it's easy to talk to dudes, whether they'll listen or not. That's another thing. It's the same situation that you were just talking about. Sometimes they'll listen, sometimes they won't. At the end of the day, you're only bullshitting yourself.
Yeah.
Especially in like, when it comes to training your body and in your physique. If you're saying you're eating what you're eating, like you don't really need to tell me. I can tell by looking at you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And by your physique,
Exactly.
People that talk about all these things, the work shows.
Yeah.
But the thing that I always try to tell women is build muscle when you can. Mm-hmm. And you have you're young now, you're supple, you've got your youth and your vitality, but there's going to come a time when age kicks in. Mm-hmm. And
that's so true.
Age is going to kick in and you're going to start, instead of going up, rising, gaining, building more, getting better, you're going to start declining.
Well, I have never thought about it like this, and you're so right. It is so true.
So you need to build, I tell women all the time, you need to build muscle while you can, so you can hold on to it throughout your older years.
Yeah.
And that will increase your quality of life exponentially.
Yes.
Just by doing a basic strength. It doesn't have to be crazy. You don't have to train like a bodybuilder.
Yeah.
You don't have to train like a pro athlete. If those are things you want to do, please, by all means, do those things. But like just a very simple fundamental program where you're doing some sort of cardio, some sort of strength training program, some sort of calisthenics, something incorporate 3-4 times a week, 30 to an hour, something like that. And that is going to increase your well-being well into your 60s, 70s, your 80s. Women, when you hit 40, you're like menopause is right around the corner. Mm-hmm. You're going to start losing bone density. Osteoporosis is going to kick in. If you lift weights, the stress from training, from resistance training, increases bone density.
Yeah.
So, by getting strong, you're building muscle that's going to keep you strong throughout your life. And then you're also increasing the thickness of your bones, which are going to keep you from getting hurt.
Exactly.
When you're older. And it happens to men too, but more to women.
Yeah.
Like that bone thinning process that takes place.
It's so true. It's like such a good way to look at it too. It's like I'm literally in a position now where I'm trying to like build as much muscle as I can because I'm like, it's quarantine. I don't have to go anywhere. I don't have to do anything. And I'm like, I was like, it's something I've always wanted to do. I'm like literally lifting heavier than I have in my whole life. And it's great. Yeah. And I feel a bit like bulky at the moment. I mean, I know I'm not a big human, but for me, I feel bulky. But it's great. Like, thank you, sir. But it's like, I'm like, I can do this now and like use this time because it's exactly what you're saying. It's like, use the time you can while you have it.
Yeah.
Because you're so right. It's like the moment you start to age, it's like your cells don't recover as quick. Like nothing works as well.
When you're 30 years old, I don't want to say it's too late because it's not too late.
Yeah.
It's never too late to start training. Let's just get that on the table. It's never too late to start. Mm-hmm. And it's never too late to start getting better and training. You could be 60 years old, start training and get better.
Yeah.
But if you can start being proactive and in your 20s, your teen years, and you sustain that healthy lifestyle training, you're going to be so better off, like in terms of being able to age than all the other people around you. You're going to age better than your friends that don't train. Physically, mentally, your cognitive skills, like there's plenty of science to back all of the positive benefits that come from training, all the neural pathways that are strengthened through training, and like training your nervous system, especially when you're strength training, you're lifting things heavy. Like people don't realize we have a nervous system that's running. It's an electrical current that runs from the tips of our fingers and our toes to our spine, to the core of our body that runs everything. And it sends a signal. And when you, from the second you grab a bar, you're sending a signal to that nervous system. And the more you can do that, the stronger that signal gets, and it fires, and it allows you to control the faculties of your body even better. And I don't know what it was. I was fortunate enough to like listen to all the old timers when I was younger. Even though I did go through my meathead phase where it's like, I'm going to lift as heavy as I can every day, you know? And some of that was just being young and like dumb, especially when you hit puberty. You got all them NRBs you got to work on, you know?
I was about to say, what's that? And I'm like, oh, I know, I learned today. I learned today.
And so, you know, and you just train hard with all your friends. At least for me, I played football and we had a strength program. Every day after school, we would go and we just lift as hard as possible. But after I got out of high school, I got smarter about how hard I trained. Like I didn't stop training super hard, but I trained smarter. And I remember somebody telling me this, and it stuck with me forever. Train like you're 40 and you'll feel like you're 20 forever.
That's so true.